Who is he? The Christ. Why did he come? To die and to rise, to take our sin upon him. What does he want from us? What does he want from us? He wants you to follow him. And in these next verses, he gives a call to discipleship. And my friends, listen, before we read this, let me just warn you, little heads up, he doesn't tiptoe. He is very clear on what he wants. And what Jesus wants is everything from you. He doesn't want half in. He wants you all in, 100%. Let's look what he says, because this call to discipleship is paramount to what it looks like to be a follower of Jesus. Here's what he says. And he said to all, if anyone would come after me, let him deny what? Himself, and take up his cross daily and follow me. Threefold. Deny himself, take up his cross daily, follow me. Deny himself, take up his cross daily, follow me. That's what it looks like to follow him in this road of discipleship. Now, what does that mean? Well, these words are powerful. To deny yourself. First of all, to follow Christ means that there's something that we must deny, we must put behind us, and that would be, frankly, our past desires, those things in our life that were once pulled upon us, that we carried out the desires of the flesh and the passions of the flesh. Christ says that you must deny those things, put the folly behind you. Make no mistake, the call to follow Jesus will cost you something. Indeed, it will cost you everything. It will be a turning away from the things of our past. There's a passage in Scripture, it came to me, remembrance this morning. I believe it's Titus 2, which says something like this. Listen, for the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation to all men. You tracking so far? Okay, that's Christ. The grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation to all men. That's Jesus, teaching us to say, now watch real close. Watch my lips. Teaching us to say, no. Right? Say it with me, right? No. Okay, Titus 2, love it. The grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation to all men, teaching us to say no to what? To ungodliness and worldly passions. This is what Christ is saying. You want to follow me? Deny yourself. There's things that you no longer must do because you have a new allegiance to Christ as Lord. Not just that, you must take up your cross. Look at it. Take up your cross, and the next word is very important. What is it? Daily. Now, understand the time frame. Christ has not been crucified yet. How would they have heard this? Well, they lived in a culture that was dominated by Rome. Rome would occasionally and frequently crucify people. If they ever saw someone carrying a cross, what the disciples knew is that to carry a cross, that person was never coming back. That cross would define their life and it would define their death. It was the very emblem that they would be dragging through the streets that would define who they were, both then and at their death when they would be crucified. So when Jesus says, take up your cross daily, I believe what Christ is saying is that if you want to follow me, your faith in me will now be the thing that defines you. It will define you every single step, every single day, and it will define you, listen, until the day you die. There's no turning back. Once you receive him as Lord and you deny yourself, you take up that cross and you do it every day, and you recognize that my folly no longer controls me, and now my faith defines me. It defines me every single day. You must deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. Follow me. With your eyes upon the future. What Jesus says in the next verse is very important as he talks about this, about keeping our eyes fixed upon the future. Here it is. Take a look at the future. For whoever would save his life will what? Lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. Kind of a strange verse, verse 24, but let me tell you, this verse has radically changed people's lives throughout church history. This verse impacted so deeply in the heart of a man, a pastor, In Germany, his name is Bonhoeffer. That Bonhoeffer would write these words: when Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. These words would also impact a man named Jim Elliot, a famous missionary who died in Ecuador. And Jim Elliot would say this: he is no fool to give what he cannot keep, to gain what he cannot lose. That's a mouthful. If I ever get a tattoo, that's going to be the second one on my torso right there. He is no fool to give what he cannot keep, to gain what he cannot lose. It comes right from this passage. Follow me. How do I frame these passages or these verses? Here's how I would best frame it. Let me put this: deny yourself, take up your cross daily, follow me, in this one. Here it is. Next slide. Let me frame it like this. If Jesus is Lord, my folly no longer controls me. My faith now daily defines me, and my future is ever before me. That's how I can best understand what Christ is saying. My folly no longer controls me. My faith daily defines who I am, and my future is ever before me. And what is that future? My future is I'm with him. I'm with him. And we proclaim his name boldly, and we're not ashamed. We are unashamed to be identified with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. What does Romans 1 say? I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation, which is interesting because this is what Jesus says next when he's talking about being ashamed. New Hope. This next verse, when I was a teenager, terrified me. I remember reading this as a teenager in verse 26. And thinking, oh Lord, I pray that this would not be true of me because of the deep ramifications. Look at verse 26. He says this: for whoever is ashamed of me and my words, of him will the Son of Man be what? Ashamed when he comes in his glory and the glory of the Father and of his holy angels. Oh Lord, help that not to be true of me. Help me to be unashamed of your name. One who speaks it bravely, one who shares it openly. And take a look at this action step. How about this one? Follow his name unashamedly. Jesus wants all in, blank check, no strings attached, wholehearted, 100% total commitment. That's what he wants. New Hope, let me frame for you where we've been. Who is Jesus? Who is he? Answer? Christ. Why did he come? Suffer, die, rise. What does he want from me? He wants nothing less than 100% total, all in, no strings attached, complete, I'm with him. He wants to deny yourself, take up your cross daily, follow him, and do it every single day of your life, and do it unashamedly to say, I'm with him. That's what Christ wants.